Pop Punk and Pizza podcast is presented by Pop Punk Takeout, which is a monthly subscription box. It's filled with merchandise from pop punk artists from all over the world. You can sign up at poppunktakeout.com. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Pop Punk Takeout.
I'm going out, I gotta go. I'll bang a rang on the radio. So turn it up, I'm telling you. I think I'm ready for something new. Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza. Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza.
You're listening to Pop Punk and Pizza with Jacques Lamour.
Hello and welcome to Pop Punk and Pizza. I'm, of course, Jacques Lamour, and if you're watching the live stream version of this right now, I apologize that we're 10 minutes late, but alas, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we got things worked out, which is always a great thing, right? So I hope you've been having a great week. It's the last week of July, which I cannot believe. It makes me sad because I am such a summer boy, but you know, all good things are coming to an end, right? We still got got about a month left. But anyway, so our guests on today's episode consists of Cleveland Avenue, who's going to be joining us later on about mid-show, out of Chicago, which I'm not too far from Chicago. I live about 50 miles south. And I used to have a lot more Chicago bands on the podcast, and I haven't as of recent. So I'm happy to be welcoming a band back from the scene that I'm near back onto the podcast in a little bit. Cleveland Avenue has a brand new EP coming out called The Things Better Left Unsaid. It's actually dropping this Friday, July 30th. So we're going to be talking about that. But before we get to them, the guests I'd like to introduce to you are Good Terms. And they put out a new album this year in April called Turning Point. And in fact, we played one of the singles from that album on the show. I want to say it was a month or two ago. But anyway, we're going to welcome Brian, Ivan, Zach, and G-Bones onto the podcast.
That's me, buddy. G-Bones with a Z. That's it.
I love how it's, you know, Brian, Ivan, Zach, and then G-Bones.
That's right. I don't subscribe to any type of, group activities. I have to be by myself. As I am the bass player, the most subdued, I have to set myself apart. And that's why you see the Z in G-Bones.
You know, it's so funny because literally you would think the way the way I just introduced you, you would think you're actually the front person of the band. Like, you know,
the wheels are in motion. The wheels are in motion to kind of kick Brian out.
Wow.
My favorite band is Fall Out Boy, so I'm fine with this. This is how.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the dynamic. Amazing. But it's funny because we're actually not at home right now. But this is how it usually is because the three of us live. Ivan and I are roommates, and Zach lives across the driveway, and so we're like on nucleus all the time. And then Gio lives way out 20 minutes away in Highland Park. And so it's often like the three of us showing G-Bones our stuff being like, hey man, you think it's good? Like, what do you think? So,
and the answer is no. It's always no.
And Gio's always crushing.
I love how hard the G-Bones name has stuck around. Gio and I went to college together, and that was just from this random dude that would pass by in the dorm hallway and just be like, what's up, G-Bones? Like a guy that we barely knew. We later knew him, but he just, like, upon meeting him was like, your name starts with a G? I guess you're G-Bones to me now and forever.
G-Bones is fan. Yeah. I guess, did he not know that Botello was his last name? Like GB?
I don't know. I just think he just went for it.
That's killer. I love that.
So it's just like some guy randomly said, "Hey, G-Bones." Like,
it stuck with me because I'm usually the nickname giver. I feel.
Okay.
And then I met this guy, and I remember, let's say his name was Jimmy. It definitely wasn't. But it was like, "Hi, I'm Jimmy," and then it was like, "Oh, hi, I'm Gio," and he goes, "G-Bones," and I was like,
"Yeah, man,
damn,
yeah, that's
like,
man, that's
like,
choice.
further condensed my already a nickname into a crazier nickname, and then here we are. I mean, like 10 years later. So
I mean, it sounds like you got street cred, you know, with G-Bones. I mean,
you just gotta lean into it. I leaned into it. Here we are. You know, and I'm trying out this like prepubescent mustache too, and I think that really helps. Like seeing me with G-Bones makes me feel a lot better. Like it makes me feel like things are going my way finally.
oh my gosh. So when G-Bone, when you first hear G-Bones, what's like the first thing that comes into your mind about G-Bones? Because like it doesn't necessarily have to be the person G-Bones. Like
Sure.
what do you pick? Like what do you picture? Like because like the first thing that comes to my mind is like some dude being like, well, dude, you should hit up G-Bones. Like
Sure.
he's got the hookup. You know,
He's got the plug. Yeah,
he's
that's
got
my
the
plug.
Yeah, you know, like whatever that may be. That could be so many different things. Like,
And I feel like you hear that and you're just like, who the fuck is G-Bones? Like, do I want to meet some dude I have to call it G-Bones?
I feel
You
like
don't.
I feel maybe it's just because Gio is an excellent producer, but I feel like it's one of those like douchey producer names that you like give yourself that like people don't actually call you. It's like yo, what's up, man? I'm Bones, and it's like
Yeah,
Sure.
Gio has like a it's
okay.
It's G-Bones on the track. He has like a little tag that he puts on his
Yeah,
website.
yeah, it's your producer.
There you go.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Like Mario Kart.
I think that listen, Jacques. I'm trying to figure it out too, and everyone's on this ride with me. I do think G-Bones it could be like the name of a vegan food truck. There's something there. Like have you tried G-Bones? And it's like an $18 slab of seitan that's just been fried, and they're calling it chicken. You know,
Yes, dude. Yeah.
I think that's certainly not where I'm going. But I don't know. G-Bones is nebulous. It's ambiguous. It's anything that I can be and will be. And I appreciate 7 minutes and 54 seconds into this. We've spent all that time talking about this.
already talking about your name. I mean,
Yeah.
why not? Well, like I said, you make yourself stick out just because it's like I'm literally introducing, you know, Brian, Ivan, and Zach, which are all, you know, fairly normal names, and all of a
Normal.
sudden there's G-Bone. So, you know, it requires at least 8 minutes to talk about, you know.
Listen,
So-
I agree, and I feel akin to you because of that. So,
But most of the time, Gio just sits in the back, kind of subdued, and he's like, "I'll let these guys talk about all their lyrics and their feelings." So it's good. This is the pop he deserves right now. Just about his like quasi fake nickname.
G-Bones
and for the rest of this, I will be. So, please continue.
So, you know, yeah, we should probably get into why you're really here, which is about, you know, your latest record, Turning Point, which is amazing, by the way. I really enjoyed the different sounds, you know, because there was one point I was listening to the record today, and I'm pulling up the track listing now because I can't remember which song it was. But like the beginning of it, I thought I was listening to like, all of a sudden I thought I was listening to like Bad Religion or something like that. You know, it was like this fast paced, you know, punk beats. And then all of a sudden, like in the middle of the song, there was screaming too. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. And because the rest of the record is before that was not like that. You know, it you know, it starts off like a, you know, pop rock, pop punk influenced, emo influenced record with All I Can. And you're like, okay, I'm digging this. But I loved the, you know, the surprises that come with, because, you know, that first song is always like the first song of a record usually gives a listener like of an impression of what they can expect from the rest of the record. And I love to be surprised from that first song, from the track and going into the rest of the record, because, you know, like there's always the safe assumption to assume, okay, most of the record is probably going to sound like this first song. And when it doesn't, it's cool. Like I love the unexpected things in there. So That's what I enjoy, at least as a listener.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that if we were to do the track listening over again, I mean, I agree with you. I feel like I always
changed it.
I don't think I would have changed it either, but I think we definitely were thinking like, all right, I don't know. I like the way it is, but I might have put Light at the end first. I feel like that maybe is like, this is kind of like a preview of what's to come. But I don't know. We all just like.
I like not giving the plot away in the trailer, though.
That's true. Yeah.
That's definitely.
Yeah, that's like the explosions, and then you're just like, okay, something's happening here, and then you get into the meat of it.
Exactly.
Plus, I think when we started making the songs, I didn't scream.
That's true.
And,
Yeah.
and All I Can was the very first song we did. Those are actually my demo vocals on it. Zach was like, yo, can you sing this demo song for me? And I did it, and he was just like, oh, let's just start a band.
Yeah.
But so I didn't scream, and it wasn't until a little bit into making it that Zach was yelling and hollering in the booth, and I was like, I want to try doing that. And then it was like, oh shit, let's fucking go. And then we had to write all these songs with screaming in it. So that's why it's so all over the place, is because we really did learn about ourselves when we were doing it.
Yeah, it kind of all happened in real time.
So when you're talking about Zach, are you talking about Zach in the band, or Zach? Because Zach is the name of the producer too, right? Or
that's also me,
Zach is
the
producer.
that's also
Zach's
you. Okay, I
in
wasn't.
the band,
Zach
producer.
produced and G-Bones mixed it.
Okay, that's awesome. See, I wasn't sure if they, that Zach was one and the same with the band or not.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
But what brought about the idea of screaming? Did you feel there was something missing, and you're like, well, let's give it a try? Like,
I mean,
I just like fucking Under Oath and bands that scream, and it was just like
when you first talked to me about a band that we could do together,
yeah,
we talked about like the second vocalist, and I think we more meant like Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah.
And,
which was always Geo.
Right, which I think Geo is you kind of currently do. And it just kind of transformed as we were trying out different ideas.
Yeah, so the band kind of formed as like, I don't know, kind of just like a demo beat. Like, I don't know, it started from me originally, and like all these guys are just all of my best friends, and we've made music together in a bunch of other ways throughout our lives, and this was kind of like me wanting to make, I don't know, more or less Warped Tour music of sorts, and I wasn't exactly sure like what that was. So like the first one I made was Wither Away, and then All I Can was in the mix there too, and there's a couple other ones that didn't end up making the album. It just kind of all started as demos, and a lot of them didn't have vocals, or I had like kind of co-written with some. Like a lot of them I co-wrote with Ivan or co-wrote with Geo. Just kind of being like, I know that we both love this music together, like let's just make a thing that we think is sick, and it's kind of undefined by a direction or something. I feel like if you go into something being like, no, it needs to be like XYZ thing, like I produce somebody that's like, oh yeah, we can't have double bass. It's like, why not? Like, I mean, if it's because you think double bass sucks, then that's a different story. Like that's like your artistic expression, that's a different thing. But it's like, oh yeah, we don't want to be a band with double bass. It's like, why not, dude? A band is just whatever the fuck you like, and you just make it. And fortunately, like I have these like amazing collaborators with me in this band where we all have that same mentality of just like, is it sick? Does it make us feel something? And does it just like make us excited and stoked about making music? And like, that's the root. Of course, like we love playing distorted guitar and we love like loud drums, and that's primarily what this project is for, or at least like, the nucleus. There will be other things that like branch off that. But yeah, I don't know. We kind of just, honestly, if I knew Brian could scream, which he couldn't at the time, he didn't know how to, I would have been like, oh, we're doing this right off the bat. But we threw in, I don't know how to do it, and I mostly listen. I would say 70% of the music I listen to is like screaming music, and which is not exactly what we make, but I don't know. I was like, I don't know how to do this, but I'm just gonna go like yell incorrectly in the booth, and let's just see if we like that idea. And that was, I think, maybe on Hamster Wheel or
Sandcastle.
Oh yeah, it was on Sandcastle.
I was gonna say, I thought it was the third song into the record is when you first hear, right? That's the third song. Oh, Light at the End. I'm sorry.
The pre-choruses break into it.
Yeah, it was more like I feel like the last chorus didn't feel like it elevated very much. We were like, let's like toss something in, maybe like some yells or something, because I knew Geo has an amazing like kind of like hardcore yell. And I was like, oh, I'll do like a mock of something that Geo would eventually do. and is more kind of like incorrect screaming, and we were like, oh, this is cool. Brian's just a fucking amazing. Just like
I just couldn't resist, which I think is a lot of other fun parts. Because I couldn't resist that. There's all sorts of other scream moments in the record, but then like there's the silly like Van Halen solo licks in like the ends that like couldn't resist doing. There's the like all of the crazy sounds in Useless Things, which is the like ballad at the end. That's all Geo. That's all G-Bone's signature production. Yeah. I couldn't resist doing that shit, and that's the stuff that we've been most drawn to.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I had nothing to add. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the Van Halen-esque licks you were just talking about. That was another like pleasant surprise I wasn't expecting, because you don't hear that. You know, like you don't usually hear that in pop rock, pop punk or emo. You know, so that was.
So we had like awesome. We'd written the whole record, and we had said. Or we had written enough songs that we were like, yo, let's finish this record. Like, we're going to stop writing songs. And, of course, like 3 days later, Zach calls up and he's like, hey, so I wrote an entire other song, and I think you should come listen to it. And it was light at the end. And he was like, yeah, we didn't have any guitar solos. We didn't have any tempo changes. I just thought I'd fix that. And the guitar solos are these, like, freaking 80-bit, like, blues licks with the blues note in them and stuff. Yeah. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, I feel like the vibe with all of our stuff, like, of course I want to make things that are serious and are, like, meaningful to me, but also, like, just when you're, like, making music and you're playing guitar, you're programming drums or whatever, like, if it makes you laugh, like, you just got to chase that feeling. Like, and not laugh in, like, a jokey way, but, like, when like that feeling when something is so heavy that you just laugh, it's, like, the only reaction you can really do.
It's like when they land a stunt in Fast and Furious.
Yes. Yeah.
Well said.
Exactly.
What a comparison! What a comparison! Oh my god!
I'm very in tune with that franchise right now.
Are you a fan of like literally all the movies? Like I still can't believe they made another one.
I have a strong opinion.
Yeah. So what's that strong opinion? Let's hear it.
Okay, granted.
Has opinions on Fast and Furious.
Granted. All right. First of all, me and the three of these guys. Also, how cute does Ivan look in that shirt? I just want to point out.
Dude,
truly unbelievable.
You do look very cute in that.
Very cute. The
like
hair, it's unbelievable.
The nice thick head of hair. Yeah.
It's on one today. Nothing I can do about it.
So, with that being said, cuteness aside, I have very few differences in opinion with these three. But when it comes to movies, it's not great. We don't get along. But I will say, I love the Fast and Furious franchise, especially the first one, second one, third one. I will say I have a blind spot from like 5 to 7, but Hobbs and Shaw is not good.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's
Hobbs and Shaw shouldn't be watched. Shouldn't have been made. And Fast 9, also not good.
I also agree.
Also not good, and like, it's entertaining, but only by a little bit. Like we didn't need to send Tyrese to space. Like we did not need to do that.
It's like
That's so random.
It's fantastic.
It's like an AC/DC record with power creep.
It's not. It's not. It's literally not. It's not good. It's not based in any type of world. It's not good.
This is why it's in a separate window.
That being said, go watch it. Definitely go watch it.
I fully stand by it in like the most, like, my entire heart is behind that franchise.
Sure.
I think it ages, besides like literally the first movie, there's a couple spots that are like, yikes, all right, whatever. But the whole point of the entire series is like family, the family you choose, that's important. And like, just like good, wholesome shit without being without pushing any actual like agenda on you. It's just like no one gets left behind
without pushing an agenda.
There's a giant Olive Garden commercial. It's amazing.
A giant Olive Garden commercial. What?
I feel like Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's yet again quite a comparison.
We're writers.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. You know, if Good Terms doesn't work out, you could do a killer campaign ad for somebody. You know, I mean,
As long as it's only Fast and Furious.
Right. I mean,
probably by then to be like Fast and Furious 17.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, my God. So I the only Fast and the Furious movie I have seen is Tokyo Drift. That's the only one I've seen.
Well,
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Tokyo Drift is great.
never
It's
seen
a great.
that.
Oh, okay.
It's a great film. It's great. Keep it at that. Only go backwards. Go.
Oh no!
Go. Hey,
Hey, watch
Too
one.
Fast, Too Furious with Luna, with
I've seen
Ludacris.
that.
Truly unbelievable. And then you go back one more. Number one is great.
You just hate Vin Diesel?
I aspire to be Vin Diesel. I love Vin Diesel.
I was gonna say you're the guy working on your bike.
If I can be the realist here, because I'm somewhere in between the two of these.
Oh yeah, you be the realist, Zach.
Yeah.
You're the realist here.
Yeah. Yes, I am. Dude, 4 through 6.
Yeah. Chef's kiss.
Word.
Actually, no. 5 and 4 is like 4 is where it starts to be like okay. I wouldn't say that's good, but I did like
5 and 6.
5 and 6. I'm like, fuck, that's good. 7 and 8, it starts to go off the rails a little bit. I agree with Gio. Hobbs and Shaw is bad, and 9 is crazy. We should also mention, I don't know if you saw this on our Instagram, but so our mutual best friend Brian has a clothing company called LXIX, and he makes tie-dye stuff, and he makes these insane designs, and he just made one that's just, this was a year ago, before all the family memes. It's just Vin Diesel's face. It just says family at the bottom, and all our entire friend group has one. So we all went to see F9 together, wearing the shirts together. So it's 14 of us in matching tie-dye shirts with Vin Diesel's face on it and family on it. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I may be feeling the high of that experience over the movie.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about. It's it inspires more than just what's on the screen.
It is ultimately all about family. So
I think we can all agree on that.
I'm so always trying to distance myself from family.
But no, it's the family you choose. That's the whole point.
Oh, so sorry. I'm actively trying to separate myself from the family I've chosen.
Man.
To the length of being on a separate screen from them.
Yeah,
So.
no.
I was just gonna say that.
Here's the thing,
Just gonna say that.
Jock. He was in this room
No.
2 hours ago,
No.
Oh.
Hearsay.
He couldn't deal. He couldn't. That
and
was
he had to go home 15 minutes away. So he could just,
Oh,
he's
man.
a busy boy. He's got stuff to do.
No, he is.
Got a shower. I don't know.
Well, getting back to, I guess.
Right, we're a band.
I guess you've saved me, the trouble and telling me which Fast and the Furious movies to watch, which is really good to know. It sounds like I can skip Hobbs and Shaw. I can completely skip that one,
Safely.
and then I can just I can watch the first 3 for sure. It sounds like, and then from there it sounds like it's a little rocky. So, according to some, but
Five.
But-
Just that's your takeaway.
okay,
5.
okay, 5. Okay, all right.
If you like Die Hard and Predator, 5 is right for you.
Oh, okay.
These were our
That's-
talking points we talked about before we came on the internet.
Yo,
Okay,
man.
right, exactly.
It's crazy how
You
much
had
we've
to
talked
talk.
about Fast and the Furious.
They deserve to share this on all of their social media pages now.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's turn. So Turning Point, obviously out now. Everyone needs to go stream it, buy it, because are there still physical copies available? I imagine, right?
I think there's somebody just bought one a second ago. I think there's 10. There's 10 vinyl left.
Okay.
And yeah, we still have a couple of things of merch. We're kind of in the process of making some new merch, but yeah, definitely. If you're a vinyl person, we went super crazy with the packaging of that, and definitely we're a little indulgent because we want to be, and
Why
yeah,
not?
it's very cool.
It's the best way to listen to the record for sure.
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
I would say it's my preferred format. Yeah.
It's the best way to listen to an album is to listen to it all the way through on vinyl. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
And any like upcoming shows or events or anything else coming up with the band that you want to share and get out there?
Nothing like totally solid yet. We're planning our first show. We're working on it right now, sometime in the fall. That's all we really know. These guys are all actually doing some crazy shit that's not Good Terms related. I'm just going to brag about each of them. Ivan and Gio are going on tour with Muna. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're like a amazing indie pop artist band. They're opening for Phoebe Bridgers, which is fucking insane. And then Brian is going on tour. He's playing guitar with his band Boy Hero, who's also really good. They're kind of like a post-hardcore type band, and they're touring the next, so these guys are kind of like, we're actually, that's where we're at right now. We're doing a little like Good Terms retreat, kind of just vacation vibes, working on some stuff, and then before everybody skips town for a couple weeks, and then we're thinking of hitting it hard again in the fall. But yeah, definitely be on the lookout for like some, especially if you're in Southern California, we'll be around, we'll be playing.
Right, of course.
If everything allows us to do so.
Fingers crossed on that one for sure. And then where can people find you on social?
Man,
everywhere. Everywhere Visa is accepted.
Good Terms Band, baby. You pull up a website, you type in Good Terms Band into it, and it'll work. Unless it's Facebook. Then you got to type in Good Terms 69. But because
1 through 68 were taken.
They were already taken. Yeah. I absolutely believe you. Totally. All right.
But yeah, Good Terms Band everywhere.
Awesome. And I'd like to close out with you guys by playing More Than I Deserve, if you're cool with that.
Hell yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Love
that sounds good with us.
Cool. All right. Well, G-Bones and Brian, Ivan, and Zach, thank you guys. Good Terms for being on Pop Punk and Pizza.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, man. They're great.
Hell yeah.
Yep. You guys have a great night. All right.
You too.
You too, man.
Thank you.
I don't wanna write these words, 'cause I know you'll hear them, and I'm sure you'll fear them. I don't ever wanna hurt you, so if you're scared, then be prepared.
So good terms, more than I deserve here on Pop Punk and Pizza Podcast. Thank you so much to those guys for being on the show. It was a lot of fun meeting them and talking Fast and the Furious. See, that's the cool thing about Pop Punk and Pizza. You just never know what you're going to end up talking about. Before we welcome Cleveland Avenue onto the podcast, we're supposed to be talking to Joshua Berry, the lead vocalist. Just want to remind you real quick about Pop Punk Takeout, which is who we're presented by. They are a monthly subscription box that's filled with pop punk merch from artists from all over the globe, and they literally take all this merch, they put it in takeout boxes. There's a pizza takeout box, and then a smaller version you can buy that's a Chinese takeout box, and they deliver this right to your door once a month with some really cool items. There's merch items from well-known bands in the scene to bands maybe you haven't heard of, but you're looking for new artists to check out, right? So this box is perfect for that. Like the box for next month in August features items from MxPx, Rivals, and so many others. So you can pre-order that box right now still at poppunktakeout.com, and make sure you follow them on Spotify, or not on Spotify. Listen to me. I'm usually talking about a band, right? You can follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Pop Punk Takeout. So while we are waiting for Joshua Berry from Cleveland Avenue to show up, let's go ahead and play their latest single, which is If I Needed Help, I Wouldn't Call 911. It's from their upcoming EP, The Things Better Left Unsaid, which is actually coming out this Friday, July 30th.
Someone called 911 because I heard myself again. You never expect to fall in love with your best friend. I'm sinking deeper into shipwreck seas, and I don't know how to swim unless you're right there next to me. Feeling
So Cleveland Avenue, if I needed help, I wouldn't call 911. That is from their upcoming EP, which is dropping this Friday, July 30th, called The Things Better Left Unsaid. And joining us now on Pop Punk and Pizza is their front person, which is, I thought it was Joshua Berry, but it says Defont. Is it Defonte?
Yeah. So Joshua's like a surname. It's Josh is my middle name. But a lot of like people from my family and like a lot of people are like friends and they call me Josh. It's like a thing that they've always done. But my actual legal birthright given name is Defonte.
Defonte. I like that. Do you know what that means? Is there a meaning behind it?
So I was born in Montreal, Quebec. I'm originally from Canada. And I know Defonte is like French Vietnamese. My mom's Vietnamese. My dad is Black and Cuban, and like I guess like in that like realm of like nature wise, because like in the French term it's pronounced défunt. So like I know like it's kind of like she's telling me like, oh, like it means like truth and all this stuff like that, and then my mom would always be like, oh, you're always meant for bigger things, so make sure you always tell the truth and never lie, so I was just like, I was like, oh,
putting you up at a high standard there.
Yeah, literally, it's like I guess I'm some profound prophet meant for like meant for a higher purpose, I guess.
I mean, you're in a pop punk band. I mean,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You're fronting a pop punk band. That is a higher purpose. You are a prophet for the people, for the kids, for the scene.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
So how long were you in Montreal?
Yeah, no. So I was born there. My family, my mom, me and my mom, we moved here, like moved to the States when I was like 7, 8 years old. It's kind of weird. Like, obviously, like I'm aware of like my life there, but it's like that's still such an impressionable age. I feel like when like you're a kid and stuff, and obviously like family and things like that. So obviously I remember somewhat there, but like in my opinion, like the U.S. is my home. Like I've lived here since then. So when I tell people I'm from home, unless they want to dive deeper into my life, I'm like, yeah, I'm from the south suburbs outside Chicago, Tinley Park, Illinois. Go Titans. And, and then I went to college at Illinois State or whatever. So unless I'm in a bar and like, I'm with like some friends and they want to actually know where I'm from, I'll throw it out there. And they're like, what? You're Canadian? And all the questions goes like, oh, do you have dual citizenship? Is this and that? And I'm like, yes. So
you do have dual citizenship.
I do. This is like something I had to clarify with my mother actually a couple of years ago, because when I started dating my girlfriend a couple of years ago, that was what she asked me. And I never thought about that. I just thought as a kid, I was like, oh, we just moved here, like that's not something like I had to like worry about like as like a young lad. So so like I found out that I do have dual citizenship, and hopefully I can get back here soon and actually go visit some of my family and like go more into like where I was born, because like that'd be super awesome for me just to keep in touch with like my roots and like my ancestry and stuff, and stay more knit and connected with my family, even though obviously COVID is like prevented that and like such.
Yeah, so do you still have family that you regularly talk to there, or just family that you think is there, or what's the situation with family? And
yeah, definitely. Yeah, so like I mean, I'm aware of people on my mom's side of the family. I don't readily stay in contact with them as like I should, or maybe that I did back in the past when I was younger. I feel like that's just like for everyone, right? Like once you start the more older you get, the more
hard.
Involved. Yeah, exactly. The more involved in your life you get as you become an adult. I am a young adult now, and I'm starting to do more things with like not just like with my life, but involved with like my partner's life and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to like stay in contact, especially like when they're not here; they're 1,000 miles away. But I hope soon though, like especially like especially like nowadays, where like we went through a year of COVID where like it was hard to even see like your family unless they were in your close bubble. Like people weren't allowed to see it, like even allowed to see their family here. So I think for me, like it definitely made me feel a lot more sense of ownership with that. So I'm hoping to reconnect and actually be more involved in that, and be more involved in that part of my family as well. Because especially to me, family is everything. Family is a big thing for me. So hopefully, once things settle down a lot out there, because COVID's been kind of bad there, especially with the Delta variant recently. hopefully next year or two I can get out there and visit. Maybe Cleveland Avenue will go out there and tour too. That'd be great.
I was gonna say for you, it'll be easy to get into
Exactly.
Canada.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
But for the other guys, it might not be so easy.
As long as they have their passports, and at that
Yeah.
point at least, hopefully, as long as they have their passports, they should be good.
Right. And I mean, pop punk is so big in Canada.
Yeah.
There's, as you know, there's so many great Canadian pop punk bands. So, I mean, that is definitely a place like that most bands want to go to if they can,
Definitely.
So, yeah.
I love the Canadian pop punk scene.
Yeah, and hit up the the right people and everything. But that's super cool though. To learn that you have the dual citizenship. You come from Montreal.
Yeah.
So is Brittany Edwards is saying, have you heard of the town Emo in Canada?
Emo.
Is there an emo town in Canada? I've never heard that.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm gonna Google that right now.
You might have to. Like, I know, like, for me personally, like, as I went back and learned more of like my origin and where I was from, I really, like, to be honest, I kind of just stuck into my bubble of like Montreal. I'm a big Canadians fan. Like, I love hockey. I'm a big Canadians fan. I was rooting for them during the Stanley Cup until we got clobbered by the Tampa Bay Lightning. So obviously, like, in that area, like, I feel like Montreal, like, obviously there's beautiful rural areas everywhere, but like most of it's just like, it's either like, hockey or like other stuff. There's not really a lot like in the bubble of like that city, even though it is a major territory in Canada. There's not really a lot, like, unless you're like specifically for me, I guess you'll say. That was my bubble. I didn't really like associate with like other stuff, or at least I had no choice. And I was a 6-7-year-old kid. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So there is an emo Canada. It's a township in Ontario.
Okay.
It's super small. There's only like 1,300 people that live there.
Yeah, of course, to be in Ontario.
Yeah, right. And I guess it's like directly north of Minnesota. So I'm looking at the map right now, and yeah, it's not. I'm trying to see how close it is to the border of Canada. Oh yeah, it's not that far at all. It's like kind of on the border, actually.
Oh wow.
Of Canada and the United States, by Minnesota, of course. That's so funny.
Oh,
Gosh, that's great.
having a good old geography lesson.
Yeah,
awesome.
Dude, if someone could do like a really cool event in emo Ontario, Canada. Like,
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Right? They could seriously put themselves on the map and like get a bigger town of more than 1,300 people. Like,
100%.
They need to do that. Yeah. Random facts of the day. Thank you, Brittany Edwards, for that. Yeah, that was awesome. So let's talk about Cleveland Avenue. We have played Cleveland Avenue's some of your songs on the podcast before, but this is the first time that we're actually talking and sitting down together, which is awesome. Because I think the first song we played was love is
true love is not just a piece of tattoo.
Yeah, which when
big mouthful.
Yeah, when you guys pitched that song, I'm like, well, how could I not play that on Pop Punk and Pizza? You reference pizza in the song title.
You got to.
I mean, the artwork itself had a slice of pizza on it. So it was, and besides that, it was a great song. So I was completely sold all around. But then that's been 2 years ago almost, right?
Yeah, almost 2 years ago. Yeah, coming up in November would be close to almost 2 years ago. It came out in November 2019. So it's where that EP came out.
And now we're coming up on the new EP, The Things Better Left Unsaid, which the all the singles from that we just heard If I Needed Help, I Wouldn't Call 911. That's a great song. And I can't wait to hear the EP in full once it drops. I feel like you guys are completely independent, and you are definitely one of the standout bands in the pop punk scene in Chicago right now. I know the True Love is more than a pizza tattoo. That EP has over 1 million streams, doesn't it?
Yes, on all platforms, there's over 1 million streams. So
Which is incredible.
yeah, no, definitely for us because like I know like specifically for us when we put that EP out, like that. So technically, if you think about it, that's EP 2 for us, because we did have a EP, if you call it. I'll call it like a demo session of songs that we did put out when we first came a band back in like June of 2017. It was like June 1st, 2017. That we did put out, and like it was kind of just like us coming together as a band. We just all met like randomly. We wanted to just like play some songs or play some covers, or like, oh, let's just like write some songs. And like the idea was there, and like obviously like it worked out. Like what I mean, like the songs sound great live, but we didn't put as much effort as we did into that demo EP than we did True Love Not Just Pizza Tattoo. Which is the reason why, like, we had it up there for a little bit. We took it off because we just felt like, what, we want to be taken more seriously. We want to be able to be like, as you say, like, we want to come off as one of those stronger bands and this, not just the Chicago scene, but like, eventually just in general, like to be able to cross demographic and people to be able to actually enjoy our music. We felt that demo, those demo songs didn't like, fully express us as a band. So it was really hyped. It was really hyped to see, like, when True Love Not Pizza 2 came out, the reception we got from it, because we weren't expecting it whatsoever. We were expecting the fan base. We weren't expecting, like, the fan base to, like, love us so much. We weren't expecting, like, the credit and, like, all the cheers and praise we got from it. But we're really happy it did, because we literally worked our asses off with that. We recorded it with Roy Robley, who does excellent work with every band that he works with.
I'm not familiar with him. I was wondering. I wonder who these guys worked with.
Yeah, so Roy Robley, he does great work. He's done like Belmont. He worked with Belmont. He did Overstepping.
Oh, okay.
He is the producer on all the Meet Me at the Altar tracks that come out. That's something that a lot of people don't really. That obviously more people should know about him right now, because Meet at the Altar doing so well. They're pretty good friends of ours. Because obviously the same producer until we met them, Edith, Taya, and Ada. But he recorded and produces all their music. He does stuff with like other really good locals, Action Adventure, Detour North. Literally any band in the scene that like is like has gotten that like praise and like work, whatever. Like I say, like at least from our point of view, like people that we know has worked with Roy, because he just does great work. He's really really good at his craft. He definitely pushes you to that next level. Because, like, I know for my point of view, the Pizza Tat did not sound anything like when we brought it to Roy. Not saying that he changed everything a lot, but like he's the type of guy where like he'll suggest something and like we won't like it won't be a bad suggestion. Like we will 100% take the advice and do it because we know because it sounds fucking amazing. And it's like the first time he started doing that, it was kind of like, oh, like is this really gonna sound right? But like when we heard it, it's like, oh my god, that sounds fucking amazing, I won't give up too much without like going into it, but I know like one of the songs, one of the songs that haven't been released on Things That Better Left Unsaid, like it's a prime example. Like it wasn't what it was, and then he recommended an idea, and we knew it was gonna be good because like he hasn't studios around yet, and next thing you know, like it sounds amazing. So we definitely all of our credit for all our success so far and what we've been able to accomplish in a short time as a band. We definitely owe to Roy 100%.
Yeah, I mean, he really took you guys up to the next level,
Definitely.
where you're at now, and the production's great, the songwriting's great. Your lyrics have been, I assume they're your lyrics anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Your lyric writing is getting stronger and stronger. Like I mean, everyone with if I needed help, I wouldn't call 911. I mean, the hook in that song is so good, but also the other parts that go along with it flow really well. You know, sometimes you feel like you listen to a song and the only thing that really stands out to you is the chorus, right?
Yeah.
And the verses are just kind of like a filler, you know, they're just kind of like whatever. But your verses, they stick with you as well, you know. I know one of the lines that stuck with me is what is it? Falling in love with your best friend.
Yeah, you never expect to fall in love with your best friend.
Yeah, and I think that can everyone can relate to that. I mean,
100%. Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
whether it was a good situation or a bad situation or a in between situation. I mean, it's everyone's been there.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's kind of like the point I try to do with every song that like I write. And like sometimes like especially with lyrics too, like I would say like 70%, maybe 75% is me, 25% like Maud. She'll dabble in. She's our bass player, and then Adam, our drummer, he'll dabble in, and then also Kevin, and then PJ, our new like our guitarist, like he'll dabble in as well. I feel like that's just that's the point of view we want to get across. We want to be relatable, like music. I feel like that's the whole point of music in general. Like it's supposed to be relatable, and like you're supposed to like be able to feel something for it. And how do you feel something for music is when you relate to it. So I think like that's like my mindset when I write. I just want to like obviously like sometimes I use writing as a form of expression, with like anything that either I'm dealing with or going through or anything that's on my mind in general. But at the same time though, even though I'm writing for myself and I'm still writing for myself, but I want to make sure that when the listener listens to my music or listens to anything that we do, that they can relate from it as well. And I think that's really important to any band success. And obviously the bands that are successful like that, that's the reason why they are, because they've garnered fan bases and they've been able to connect with their fans on that level because they 100% can take anything from their music and be like, you know what, I totally fucking get that. So,
Yeah, and that's you nailed it.
Yeah.
With the latest single, I feel like more so than any of the other previous singles that you've put out, you definitely captured that relatable feeling. We've all fallen in love with our best friend at one point or another, or a friend at least.
Of course.
And it either went well or it didn't go well. You know, you either got your heart broken or maybe you ended up, getting married. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it happens. But the title, though, if I needed help, I wouldn't call 911. That lends itself to so many different things. So for you, what is that referring to? What is that meaning?
Yeah, definitely. I think so like obviously like, it's obviously a big mantra in pop punk just to like, have a title based off of like nothing that like obviously it relates to. But I felt personally like with this, obviously like that title mean nothing like obviously that title has nothing to do with like the song in general. I think for me, like I think like with the platform that we have and like the steps that we were taking to get to like, like that next level, for us it was just like a way just to shine a light on some of the things going on today. I think it's easy to just write a song about something and just like have your lyrics in there and have people decipher it. But for us, like we wanted 100% to like we wanted our thoughts and opinions to 100% being known to like whoever like hears our music or sees the title of that, knowing where we stand. Obviously, I am a black man in America, and there are some things going on, in general in the world, that are like going on with social injustice and stuff. And I feel like that's just like it's such a non-passive aggressive way. That's just kind of like how like we've dealt with it and perceived it, and how we feel about it. And like we are a big proprietor of making sure that things in those areas or those issues be handled with in a certain way. And obviously, in regards to like police and things like that, it hasn't, unfortunately. So I think that's just like kind of from a listener's perspective, I think that can be perceived multiple ways. And I think that's the good thing about music. Like, it's no like definite way. There's no like definite definition of what something like means. But for me personally, and obviously anyone knowing the band and knowing like me as a person and how I've been very very vocal and active in regards to that, I think they'll know exactly what the meaning is.
Yeah, and even the title of the new EP, "The Things Better Left Unsaid," it kind of reminds me of the that going back to, I don't know if it's, you would call it a golden rule, but I know we've all heard this from our mom or our grandmother or our dad or whoever, would always say, if you don't have something nice to say, don't
Exactly.
say it at all,
Exactly.
and there's so many, working in for like, the way I relate to the title of this EP is to, um, working in media. Sometimes people just say some really nasty things about you. And it's not just media; it's any job, right? Um, Being in a band, sometimes people will say some really nasty things, like they'll go out of their way to say, "Hey, I think your music is absolute crap," you know, and it's like, oh, you didn't need to send me an email telling me that, like
Yeah.
that you could have just not said anything and gone about your day, like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you, especially in that role. Like, you have anything nice to say, like, don't say it at all. And I think, like, for me too, like with that title, like that's just kind of like our band in general, and like a lot of bands that have like I would say like this boom of like bands that are fronted or have people of color in the band in general. Like obviously, we haven't had like sometimes like there's been times like in the scene or whatever, like not just like maybe in a band, but just like I'll get looks because they're like no one expects like someone like me to be at like in a rock show, which is not true at all. Like music is for everyone. Every music is an inclusive entity. So I feel like like anyone can have it, anyone can grab it, anyone can experience it. And I think like especially from a band standpoint, we have all these great bands that like were having the spotlight until like hashtag fucking color like happened, and like now it's like wonderful. It's wonderful that some of them like it's not even like the top, not even like the top like person of color band. Like, they're becoming the top bands. Like they're prime examples of like what we have to offer when we don't have when we're not closed minded and stuff. And like you said before, if you don't have anything nice to say, like don't say it, because like it's just like the world has no time for like negativity like that. And I just think it's like ridiculous that like some of these things have happened in that world. And like big bands like Action Adventure, like they've been a band for 7 years, right? And like it's hard to say, but like part of the reason why they haven't been able to get a lot of the traction that they have now and that they 100% are way overdue is because they're a band of color, and like that's just kind of like how things have gone. And it's great to see that. It's great to see bands like them and the Meet at the Altar, Pink Shift, Magnolia Park, Aim High, like bands that like either have BPIOC or like a frontman that's in that realm get that spotlight, because they 100% deserve it, because not only are they pushing the issue, but they also make good fucking music too.
Yeah,
So
absolutely, man. I couldn't agree with you more. And I know I it was like maybe sometime in the last couple of weeks, I saw you, I think, make a tweet about that. I think it was something similar along those
yeah,
lines, right?
yeah,
About being a black man in a pop punk or rock oriented band, and saying, it's something about along the lines of what's, kind of like, what's the big deal kind of
yeah,
thing.
no, yeah, I agree. Right,
Yeah.
like like I told like I there was like there's been multiple comments made, especially on the internet, because people are internet warriors, and that's all they do. They sit behind their keyboards and they try to find something wrong with something.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, like it was a tweet that had in my mind, and my band's like I even asked my band about it. I was like, hey guys, like I know like this isn't my platform, this is the band's platform, but I feel really strongly about this and I want to get this out, and I know people will agree with us, and like they're like they 100% supported me, and like it got the reception it did for a reason, because it's totally true. Like there's I'm sorry that like I'm not like the average thing you see, like in the scene. I'm tall, like I am of color, and like I love this music, and I love doing this music, and I love writing this music, and I love being with my band and stuff, and people are obviously agreeing with it, because like we're getting the recognition that we have. So like I'm just tired of like that. I'm tired of that stigma, and
Yeah.
like I had to vocalize that, and we've gained even more like fans in that regard, because they agree with us. So And which is the reason why social media is so great and prevalent as it is now. Like it allows you to have a platform to be able to not only communicate and like relate to those issues, but get other people on your side that 100% agree as well, which is really really good for me to see, and it gives me faith and confidence to like want to continue doing this. Because there was a time where I was like, I felt so bad for my band because I'm like, what if like we can't get to that next level because of how I look, and like just because I'm not the typical, look for like a vocalist or something, or like as in like our bass player Ma, she's transgender, like because like like stuff like that. So it's just like, I'm really happy that like not just like Chicago, but like the world of like punk in general and like alternative and scene like that music is shifting because it like I said before, it should be an inclusive environment where everyone should feel welcome and no one should feel like outcast or like feel bad for how they look.
Yes, absolutely. I could not agree with you more on that. And you guys kill it. I
Yeah.
mean, you write great songs, like, and that's at the end of the day, that's what matters. Like it's the all the other stuff. It should not matter.
100%.
And so you guys absolutely deserve all the success in the world. And honestly, like I think you look cool, man, fronting the band. When I see you, sing in the music videos and stuff, I'm like, man, like I wish I looked as cool as as he does, like when I'm singing or whatever, like I think it's a perfect fit. So
well, yeah, definitely. I
yeah.
appreciate it 100%.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. So anything else about as I mentioned a few times, the things better left unsaid. New EP from Cleveland Avenue drops this Friday, July 30th. Anything else you want to plug Cleveland Avenue wise?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, like you already said, point out before, things better left unsaid, featuring the first singles we released earlier this year, plus 2 more singles. It comes out July 30th. We released a pre-order bundle that includes a EP themed T-shirt, a couple stickers, a poster, a signed poster from the band, and a digital release copy of the EP. That's available on all of our socials. So if you guys just DM us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere that our socials are, we'll handle that for you. We'll get those pre-orders out. We're doing that for a limited time only, just for the EP. And also we're playing the show. Obviously, our first show back, thank God, in a year and a half.
Yeah.
We'll be playing at Bottom Lounge supporting Guardrail and their
Hell
EP
yes.
release show.
Yeah.
It's gonna be us, Guardrail, Weekend Run Club, and Wolf Road.
Yes.
And then later this week, we're going to be announcing the final 2 mystery bands that are also going to be on that as well. And I can definitely attest that both of those bands fucking rock. And if this show isn't sold out now, it will definitely be sold out when we announce these bands.
I agree.
So
it's
super
already
hyped about that.
Yeah, it's already a solid lineup just with the bands that have been presented on it, and I'm sure that whoever is going to be announced next is just going to add to the awesomeness of this show. So
100%. Also, too, like I remember, it's so funny, like when we got the the band list for it, I'm like, oh my god, a 6-band bill? Like, we're bringing 6-band bills back now? Like, oh jeez.
Yeah, I thought the same thing when it said there was like more TBA. I'm like, oh dang. But yeah, I guess everyone's itching to play shows. So
100%. Yeah, especially at Bomb Lounge. There's a band we never played it before, so I'm really hyped.
Oh, you're gonna love it. I mean, I personally have been lucky enough to play. I think I played there twice, I think. Maybe 3 times, at least twice, and it's easily one of my favorite venues ever to play in Chicago. It's a great venue.
That Bottom Lounge and the Metro are like my 2 favorite venues to visit, like to obviously go see shows in. But
yes,
like, I 100% believe like once I play there, like I mean until I play the Metro, and then I'm gonna have to compare again. But I 100% know when I play there, it's gonna be my favorite venue that we played at. So I'm super excited for that. And then also, we also announced we're one of the guest DJs at Emo Night, Chicago, at Upstairs 17 on August 6th. So a little pre-signing, pre-band signing, precursors are obviously our show on the 27th. That's sold out, but there will be. I've been made aware there will be a couple tickets at the door. for purchase. So
nice.
That's also going to be really, really fun. So
I
I'm
think
super
I
hyped
did.
for that.
Yeah, I think I did see that as well. That's badass, man.
Yeah.
So good for you guys. Well, DeFonte, thank you so much for being on Pop Punk and Pizza. It was a blast finally meeting you because we've talked here and there on Facebook and over the I don't know how long it's been, couple of years, whatever it's been, and it's great to finally meet you. So
no, definitely 100%. Sorry for the technical difficulties in the beginning,
dude. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. It happens. It's technology. It's the world we live in now.
Exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, no, we're all worked out, and you have a great rest of the night.
Awesome, you too, Jack. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you.
Peace.
All right, DeFonte Berry of Cleveland Avenue. Let's give him another round of applause. It was so great to have him on the podcast, as well as Good Terms earlier. Please support both of those bands. Good Terms, their new album, Turning Point, is out now. And as we said one last time, Cleveland Avenue, new EP, The Things Better Left Unsaid, out this Friday, July 30th. You can stream that wherever it is online. And then if you happen to be in Chicago, you don't want to miss that show. August 27th at Bottom Lounge with Guardrail, the Weekend Run Club, and also Wolf Road. Stacked local lineup right there. I'm really hoping to be at that show as well, just because you hear me talk about Guardrail on the podcast all the time. So they're close friends of mine. So I got to be able to support them. That they're finally able to have their release show that should have happened like a year ago. Or a year and a half ago, however long it's been now. I'm Jacques Lamour. Thank you so much for listening or watching this episode of Pop Punk and Pizza Podcast. We do stream the live recordings of each episode every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time on our Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube accounts. So make sure you follow those and you can watch those recordings while they're happening or later on, or you can just listen on your favorite podcast app. A new episode drops on all podcast platforms every single Thursday. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Pop Punk Pizza Pod. Same thing for our website, poppunkpizzapod.com. You can buy merch there. You can sign up for our mailing list. You can find out how your band can sponsor an episode or your business can sponsor an episode as well. And also submit your music to be played on the podcast or possibly land an interview. You can connect with me there or on socials, whatever is easiest for you. And also big thank you to our title sponsor, Pop Punk Takeout. Make sure you go to poppunktakeout.com and you sign up for their monthly subscription service. Their takeout box coming up in August, which is next week already, features MxPx and Rivals in it and a bunch of other amazing bands as well. Special merch items from them. They're going to deliver those directly to your door in a pizza takeout box, or you can choose the Chinese food takeout box. Regardless, poppunktakeout.com to find out more info on that. And I will talk to you next week, which next week on the show, we are going to be... Sorry, let me pull up the live stream schedule real quick here because I'm already brain farting on who's going to be on the show. Next week, August 4th, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time, we're going to be talking to Velicity and another artist that I actually have yet to announce. So Velicity for sure. And then the other artist is to be announced. And if you follow us on socials, you'll find out who exactly that's going to be. So have a great rest of the night, great rest of the day. Love you. Thank you so much for supporting Pop Punk and Pizza Podcast.
Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza. Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya. Hey, come in and have a slice of pizza. Hey, hello, it's nice to meet ya.